All right, I'm back. It's pretty sweet. Another day, another Sunday, another little podcast to majigger. This one actually might be pretty short because I did a live stream earlier today on a game, and no one really showed up for that. So I guess people aren't really in the live stream mood for the day. And my greatest comment and live stream participator says he's getting busy recently, so he's not going to be able to show up for as much stuff. So I don't know. Maybe there won't be much action on the stream, and I'll just kind of, you know, state a few things and then get out of here. I don't exactly know. It might be pretty short. Um, might be pretty long. I have about an hour and a half to do this stream. So if any of you guys have any discussion points, be sure to bring them up because I do have an hour and a half tonight. But I don't think it'll end up being near that long, just because you know I don't think we're gonna get much of anybody tonight. It just seems like a weird night. It's kind of a weird night because usually I'm ready to do this podcast. I wasn't really ready to do it tonight. It was just kind of a weird night to do that. So let's see. I like to talk about things that happened in the past week on topics on the channel. Obviously, it's a variety channel. We can kind of talk about whatever, but they're kind of topics that I tend to stick on. Mostly just things that I enjoy, random, unrelated things I enjoy. Kind of make what makes up this channel. So I mean, there was Splatoween this weekend. We did do three live streams for that. I'm playing on Friday night. Um, Friday night live stream on for Splatoween did not really go all that well. It was really late at night, so I was kind of tired and irritable, and I was losing a lot. Those two things don't really mix together very well, and pretty low viewership. One person came for a little while, but that was it. Saturday live stream. Friday night live stream was 1 hour. Saturday we live streamed Splatoween for 2 hours, so that was a bit better. And that stream was all right. We had quite a few people show up. That was actually a really fun stream, actually, because I actually got to play with viewers on that stream, which is something I don't really get to do all that often. So if you ever have the game that and you see I'm live streaming a game that you have, like I don't know, my hair is being stupid, but if you ever see us live streaming a game that you have, be sure to let me know and jump in, and you can play with us. Sometimes I like to play certain modes or not play multiplayer, but it is fun to play multiplayer with you guys. So that's something I'd like to do more. I never really have streams that are just, playing with subscribers or just playing with viewers because there's no guarantee there'll ever be viewers or subscribers that want to play. Larger YouTube channels have that luxury, but I don't think we really have that luxury. We don't have that luxury. Um, you never really know. This is one of the only times we've ever played with viewers. But yeah, it was very, very fun. And today's live stream was less than an hour. Our main objective with that was just to push and upgrade our Splatfest rank to King, which we did do successfully. But yeah, no one showed up for that. So it was kind of boring, even though I was doing a lot of winning. That's good stuff. So yeah, but nothing you can really do about the viewers thing. I mean, the only thing you can really do to market live streams is, at least for gaming, you can put the game title, give YouTube the game title, and they'll promote it with other live streams of that game, if you know what I'm saying. So anybody browsing could find it. That's how you get most subscribers from live streaming games, or one thing I found really useful. When you live stream a game, especially if there's a special event going on like Splatoween, or there's a new update to a game, you live stream it. If people find your live stream on YouTube Gaming and they think you're cool, they'll subscribe. It's a cool way to get subscribers. But yeah, so that's interesting. And yeah, other than that, you can't put tags on live streams or anything because they don't really come up in searches. It's kind of random. Um, so yeah, not really anything I can do except keep building the community on the channel, which I try to do. Anytime anyone comments on any of my videos, I'm pretty quick to respond to those comments. And whenever you guys chat on live streams, I'm talking with you guys with what you're talking about in the chat. And I try to be as sociable as possible. I ask questions on all of the videos, and I even have live streams like this on Sunday nights just to talk to you guys. That's what I've started doing recently as a unique way to engage with the community a bit more. But yeah, I try my hardest to engage with you guys, but you guys don't really seem to be engaging back that much. I see a few people here and there sometimes, but nothing too consistent. So I guess I'm not trying to make you guys feel bad. I mean, I don't want you guys to. I mean, life's boring if all you do is sit on YouTube all the time. But I think I'm trying to do everything I can on my end to build a community here, um, which would then in turn help fuel those live streams, make them a bit more interesting. But I don't really know of anything else I can do to help build the community other than keep trying to promote my channel. And let me tell you, it's pretty dang hard. I'm one to always talk about, you just kind of do what you got to do and keep pushing on and do YouTube for fun, not for viewers. But there's a point when you're not getting new viewers and subscribers, it can kind of get kind of boring and pointless. You don't really know why you're continuing to push anymore. I'm not at that fatigue point. I enjoy making content on YouTube, and I don't really have, or I've never really gotten any videos with this absolute zero views. I always get a couple on every one now because I have like 100 something subscribers. But subscriber counts haven't been drastically increasing like I hoped they would by this point, and it's I don't know. Progress is slow, but progress is always slow. Um, but yeah, I'm still trying to figure out the YouTube algorithm. That's something no one's really been able to make sense of, and I definitely have not been able to make any sense of. There are videos that I think should make a lot of views that don't get any, and videos that I think, oh, I probably won't get any views off of that I actually end up getting a ton of views off of. So yeah, you never know. So that's kind of where I stopped caring so much about the YouTube trying to marketing and things like that for the channel because you never really know what's really going to happen, where that mysterious YouTube algorithm is going to take things. It's kind of wild. So yeah, I mean that's that. I mean, one thing that ends up happening with small channels is they cannot seem to build any kind of community, which I'm starting to see that problem a little bit. I say I have 3 or 4 people that I say I've built a strong community with on the channel, but assuming that there are 139 of you guys subscribed to the channel, it's kind of crazy to think that I've only able to build a community with 4 or 5 of you. Um, so I'd love to build a community with more of you guys if you guys could just try to show up to live streams and comment on videos. I understand everyone can't be present for live streams all the time. That's definitely a difficult thing. I know most of the YouTube channels I'm subscribed to, I'm never on their live streams. I'll just tell you that because I just can't always make it around. I'm always busy with stuff. And live streams are a thing. If you're not, you got to be not busy at all right at that moment. If you're busy right at that moment, then you're probably going to miss the live stream. You kind of have to drop everything you're doing and go watch a live stream. But if you can do that, I definitely appreciate you. If any of you guys wanted to be here, I definitely appreciate that. That'd be nice. But I understand live streams are hard to make it to. Um, but anyways, if you could just take some time, especially subscribers, I guess subscribers would be the only ones really seeing this anyway. If you guys could really take some time every week to just watch a video or two, I understand time is an issue, like I've said. I probably don't watch that much YouTube myself because I'm working on making YouTube or just some other things generally in life. Um, but I really appreciate if you guys could have some time every week to maybe not watch, maybe you don't even have time to watch through one of my videos, but at least peek at a little of one of my videos or two and comment down below on those videos. So I can really feel like we're building some kind of community with this channel. That would be nice because it really is the sense of community that keeps the channel going. I strongly believe that a channel with 1,000 subscribers and no community is more likely to quit than a channel that has like 20 subscribers but has a strong community with those 20 is more likely to keep going. Um, Hello, Vinny Confetti, or I keep calling you Confetti, Vinny Congetti, and welcome to the stream. Um, I know you in real life, so it doesn't really count, but I mean, if you want to, sure. But when I'm talking about building a community, I'm talking about with people on the channel I don't know in real life. Because Vinny, I can just come talk to you at school. um, But yeah, I guess it's better to have you here than no one here. So welcome. Um, so yeah, I don't really know where I got off on that tangent from, but hey, that's what these podcast streams are all about. So I can just um, go on a tangent about random things that I wouldn't be able to go on a tangent about on the channel in other ways. So I can just sit here and talk for an hour or however long I want to do that. He keeps putting true, very true. I know. I, I'm wisdom. This is wisdom. Um, but yeah. I was talking about how weird YouTube is, how weird the algorithm is, how videos you think will get no views at all get tons of views, and videos you think will get tons of views get no views at all. I just stopped trying to make sense out of it. You kind of make the content you want to make and market it the way you want to market it and just see where YouTube takes it. I mean, it is kind of discouraging when you think a video is going to do really well and then it doesn't. Um, but it's definitely a present surprise when you think a video won't do very well and then it takes off. So that's great. Um, so yeah, I don't really know what else to talk about on that. I just kind of want to any of you guys who are subscribed to the channel and maybe see this at any point. I'd love to try to accelerate channel viewership and build more of a community because I really want to take this channel somewhere. Like I know it's really a small channel right now. I'd love for it to not stay that way. I mean, I like it being a small channel, but I really want to take this channel somewhere. If you know what I'm saying, I don't want to just chill around 100 subscribers forever. I'd love to get to 1,000 at some point. I don't know how long that would take. Probably take a while, especially at the rate we're going, which is kind of why I want to accelerate things. Which again, I'm not really sure how to accelerate because the algorithm is such a weird topic. Um, and I don't really want to do weird things just to get views. I don't want to do clickbait or anything. I want all my content to be authentic, original. Maybe not original. I kind of copy some of the concepts, but I don't want it to be clickbait. I want it to be actual quality content. Um, so yeah, I thought maybe the best way is that I could just talk to you guys and say, hey, love to take this channel somewhere, so you can help me out with that somehow, just in any way you could think, and that might just be watching a 5-minute video every week. But do something like that. That'd be pretty nice. But anyways, again, I kind of like to talk about random things that have happened in the past week on random topics that we happen to talk about randomly on this channel. So we had Splatoween this weekend. I started talking about that a little bit, and then I got off on my tangent. Um, that was the Halloween event in Splatoon 2, and let me just say I love it when games have special events for the holidays. I think it's very, very fun. Um, you know, just is. Helps me get in the holiday spirit when games have Halloween events. So I was pretty excited Splatoon 2 would have a Halloween event. And Inkopolis Plaza, or Inkopolis Square, it is in this game. I get it confused because the first Splatoon game we had Inkopolis Plaza, and then they changed it to Inkopolis Square, which is apparently a different location in Inkopolis. So I don't really know what that's all about. But anyways, they in Inkopolis Square it was decorated for Halloween. Although I have to say it wasn't exactly what I was thinking. There's kind of green slime and goop everywhere, but that was their decorating job. There were no Halloween lights or jack-o'-lanterns or pumpkins or anything like that. There's just goop, which is wonderful. Gotta love goop. Goop's a good thing. Gotta keep your goop around. But yeah, it's a different decorating style than I expected. Vinny Congetti says, I know I have no authority to give you advice, but do what you love and also what people want to see. Yeah, I wouldn't say that you have no authority. I mean, you can, it doesn't really matter. You can give me advice no matter what. But yeah, I do what I enjoy to do. And no one's really told me what they want to see. That's the thing. I mean, I've seen vague ideas. I haven't really seen anything specific that a lot of people want to see. So maybe just one or two people want to see something kind of vague or maybe specific, but just one or two people. Anyways, so yeah. So back to Splatoween, because why not? Um, that was kind of a fun event, actually. I liked a lot of the other, like, you know, Halloweeny things. They had like squid zombie there was graffiti on all the stages, which was nice. I thought the stages would be like decorated, um, but instead they kind of had graffiti all around the different stages, which is kind of neat as well because there's like Halloween graffiti, like we had zombie squids and stuff like that. Vinny Congetti, new video idea: make a video asking what people want to see. I actually might do that now that you say that. I was actually kind of thinking about that, but I didn't really know if that was a good idea. But you've convinced me that's probably a good idea. I might do that at some point. Anyways, back to Splatoween. That was fun. And I also really liked how when the stages started and the stage intro, they had inkling ghosts around. I don't know. That was just funny. But anyways, I like Splatterween. It was a nice Halloween event. I think pretty well done. I kind of wish they went a little bit more all out on the decorating instead of just putting goop everywhere. Had like jack o' lanterns and stuff like that. But it's better they did a little bit than nothing. And I really like the 48 hours for Splatfest. Most Splatfests are just 24 hours, which I feel like is not enough time. I think 48 hours is much better. And I know they just kind of did this as a special thing, but I really hope going forward they'll consider maybe doing 48-hour Splatfests as a permanent standard for the game now. That'd be much better. But anyways, Splatoween was fun. And then the other thing was that Apple event announced that they're going to have a new event in October, on October 30th, to be exact. Good date. Anyways, that's going to be an event, and we pretty much know that it's going to be new iPads and maybe new MacBooks. Really, the only things, because Apple Watch and iPhone were covered in September. So October, what's left is the Apple TV, which I don't think is getting an update this year. We'll axe that. Let's just say what's left is Mac and iPad. So we know we're probably getting new iPad Pros. Um, New iPad Pros. Like I said, I'm really hoping for all screen, no bezels, OLED displays. Probably going to be crazy expensive, but I just want to see it. I know that that'd be crazy expensive, and the current rumors are pointed toward no bezels, but apparently not OLED. They might stick with LCD. Um, Maybe that's the whole liquid retina thing with the iPhone 10R was just so they could have liquid retina as the gold standard in an iPad. I have no idea. We'll see how that turns out, how that goes. But yeah, and then the standard budget iPad, the budget iPad updated this year, so that's not really anything special, or we won't get anything because it just got updated this year. And then iPad Minis, from what we've heard from rumors and from Apple themselves, the iPad Mini's dead. There'll probably never be an iPad Mini 5. They'll probably keep selling the iPad Mini 4 until it's no longer compatible with the latest iOS version, at which point the Mini's all done. They don't really see a need for it anymore, which is unfortunate because I find the regular size iPad to be actually kind of too big for me. I like the iPad Mini size, and the 12.9-inch iPad is just ridiculous. I don't even know why that exists. But anyways, Vinny Congetti, have you seen the mock renders of the iPad where it's more box-like? No, I have not, but I'm actually going to look up that right now, just because you said that. Google. If you Google, then you can, you know, it actually gives you a link to go to Google, even though you're already on Google. Anyways, if I just look up box-like iPad, I don't know. It's not exactly what we were looking for, was it? I guess, are you just talking about like the new iPad renders? I'm looking up right now on this computer. I'm trying to look up new iPad concept and see what we got. Oh, do you mean box-like, like the display? Like a more box-like display? Yeah, for the new iPad coming out soon. Yep, that's probably what's going to be the main star of the new Apple event on October 30th um, this year. That's probably gonna be the main star. A new iPad Pro, and you said more box-like, but kind of less bezels. It looks like there's still gonna be a little bezels, probably more than what you see on like the iPhone 10, but there's no notch, so that's good. And it's just little bitty bezels, still a massive screen. Honestly, yeah, I'm looking at the renderings right now, and I can't show them to you guys on the screen, which is unfortunate. But those bezels are nice and thin. All the concepts I see are leaked renderings or whatever for the new iPad. They look pretty dang amazing. I think it's great. Um, so yeah, I am really excited. I'm actually more excited um, for the new iPads this year than I was for the iPhone 10s. I mean, iPhone 10s. iPhone 10s was kind of disappointing for me. I didn't see much in it. I mean, I guess you don't really need, in my opinion, you don't really need a new phone, a brand new phone concept every year. So I think it was good they just took the opportunity this year with the 10s to just slightly update a few things, um, just to keep the phone up to date. But it wasn't really time for a full redesign. But yeah, Vinny Vinny says, more like the iPad has curves, but it will look like the iPhone 5. The screen is curved as well. Yep, curved edges on the screen are a new Apple thing. The iPhone 10 and 10s have the curved edges on the screen. iPhone 10R will have curved edges on the screen, which will make the um, the sharp edges completely obsolete because sharp edges last seen on iPhone 8, which is the budget phone last year. This year's budget phone, I keep having to put those in air quotes because $700 is not budget. But the iPhone 10R budget phone with the curved corners. And then the Apple Watch Series 4, the Series 3 and older had jagged edges on the screen, but the Series 4 has curved screen edges as well. And so it makes sense this iPad will have curved screen edges, so that just for consistency purposes. But I think that the Macs are going to stay jagged edges just because that's standard computer stuff. A computer display is a rectangle, no curved edges. I think it'll be much too hard for applications to take advantage of a curved edge screen when every other computer, not Apple, would have jagged edges. And it's not like iPhone where more people have iPhone than Android. I mean, that's not as true anymore as it used to be, but the vast majority of people have iPhone. The vast majority of people have Windows in the computer business. So it would put Apple at a significant disadvantage to try and force people to develop their software to work with a curved edge screen. But now that I say that, I'm looking at my computer right now, and on Mac OS, all of the applications have curved edge corners already, just the way the OS is built. Um, so maybe that actually wouldn't be that hard to do, actually. But yeah, the new iPads look pretty exciting. I'm excited for that. And the other thing that might be announced at the October 30th event is um, possibly a new budget MacBook. We saw a MacBook Pro update this year, so we won't see MacBook Pro there. But a new budget update. I've heard they may merge the traditional MacBook and MacBook Air lines together. It's kind of confusing right now because the MacBook Air is the true budget option. It's the cheapest, but it's actually thicker and heavier than the regular MacBook, which is the ultra thin, like ultra light notebook option, which is more expensive than the MacBook Air. But the name would imply it's cheaper because it's the standard MacBook instead of the MacBook Air. And the name Air in the MacBook Air would imply that the MacBook Air is thinner and lighter than the MacBook, but it's not because the MacBook is actually thinner and lighter than the MacBook Air. And then the MacBook Air, which is a lot cheaper than the much more expensive MacBook, has more ports. So honestly, none of the marketing really makes sense or levels out there. So I think they should just probably completely ditch the MacBook Air and then have a new kind of budget notebook type laptop with the MacBook to kind of be more budget esque. Because I think the MacBook Pro 13-inch fills in the gap that the MacBook Air had. You can get a 13-inch MacBook Pro um, with a dual core processor and no touch bar for close to the same as a MacBook Air, but a little bit of a better processor and a little more expensive. But I think that the MacBook Pro 13 inches really fill in the gap for what the MacBook Air fills now. So I think we can just get rid of the Air and update the original MacBook. Is probably what we're going to see in October. Not exactly sure, but there's got to be something else involved because I doubt they would have an entire event just for an iPad. Although I think they did do that in March, but doubt they would have a whole event just for these iPad Pros. They have to mention something else, and I don't think that something else is Apple TV. I feel like Apple TV kind of needs another reboot, um, and it would kind of be stupid to devote a lot of time to rebooting a reboot for the Apple TV after you spent a lot of time talking about brand new revolutionary iPad design change stuff. Um, and I really don't think Apple's interested in redesigning or redoing their Apple TV. I think they're pretty happy with how it is right now, even though it's not selling well and no one really seems to like it all that much. They seem pretty happy with it, so they're probably not changing it. Just saying. So that's all that. But yeah, I am pretty excited for the event. And the new iPads have pretty much been confirmed because apparently in the beta versions of iOS 12.1, um, basically iOS is actually the base operating system is the same across iPads and the same across iPhones. It's actually they don't tell you this, but iOS, the basis of iOS, the only thing that's the same iPad versus iPhone is just the name iOS. The actual software operating system, the user interface, I guess. The user interface is the same between iPhone and iPad. But between iPhone and iPad, the base operating system is completely different. It's basically two different operating systems with the same user interface. If you kind of get what I'm saying, the way that the iPad iOS thinks and processes things is completely different than the way the iPhone iOS processes things, thinks about things. The user interface is the only thing really in common. But anyways, um, the iPad iOS version, well, every iOS version, the base of iOS is the same, but it's individually coded for each device. For example, you have the iPhone version of iOS, but obviously the iPhone 10 has no bezel, so it has a much larger screen, and you have to account for the notch. Whereas, say, an iPhone 6, 6S, 7, or 8, you have the same display size there, but you have to account for the fact there's no bezels there and no notch. So if you kind of get what I'm saying, they have to account for that between iOS versions. Also, the iPhone 10 has the swipe gestures, whereas you don't get that on the other iPhones. And then if we go all the way back to the iPhone 5S, because that's still being supported by iOS 12, the iPhone 5S has an even smaller screen, so everything needs to be formatted differently there. Um, so that's that's why iOS, while in essence is the same across devices, it's individually coded for each device to account for those differences. So with all that out of the way, just to preface this, in iOS 12.1, so you have all of the iPads listed, and apparently in iOS 12.1 is coded for um, all the iPads supporting iOS 12, and there's an extra edition at the bottom that's like iPad Pro 2018 or something like that. And obviously, there is no iPad Pro 2018 yet, and that was just added as one of the devices coded into iOS 12.1. So that pretty much confirms that we're getting a new iPad at this event. It doesn't confirm anything about it; it just confirms the iPad. But I do think they're going bezel-less for certain because I went to the Apple Store the other day. I played around with the iPhone 10s's for quite a while. They were pretty fun just to screw around with. And then I went and played with the iPads a bit, and it just didn't feel the same. Like the iPads felt outdated with their bezels. So I think if Apple wants to keep selling iPads, they need to get rid of the bezels. Vinny Congetti says, or he said this a long time ago. I'm just now getting around to it. Vinny Congetti says, "I'm a dip now. See you later." All right, Vinny. Thanks for stopping by. See you later. Go get some sleep, buddy. Whatever you need to do. I may not stream for that much longer because we've been streaming 30 minutes already. That's crazy. The first like 3 minutes of the stream took absolutely forever. It seemed, and then everything's just kind of been going fast since then. Trying to think of anything else super interesting or noteworthy happened this week. I can't think of anything offhand. We had a few new games on the Switch. Like a lot of people were really excited about Dark Souls Remastered coming to the Nintendo Switch. I didn't really care about that at all personally. I, mm, it just looks. I've heard it's an incredibly hard game, and I'm not really someone for incredibly hard games. I don't like easy games. There's some games that are just too easy, and I just don't want to sit through and try to play because they're just too easy. They're boringly easy. I'm sure you've all been there and played a game like that. But I don't like the games that are impossibly hard because my adrenaline gets going and I can't do anything, and it just makes me mad. I kind of like games that are middle of the road difficulty, hard enough to not bore me, but easy enough to not make me rage quit. So Dark Souls doesn't sound like my type of game because people always call it like a rage quitting game. And it's like makes you really mad or whatever, and you want to rage quit. I don't know. It just doesn't really quite sound like my type of game. But yeah, it did come to Switch remastered in HD, which it's my understanding that the Switch is the only console that has that game in HD. Its original release was standard definition. Um, so a lot of people were excited about that. I don't really care. Although I do find it particularly interesting that the Nintendo Switch was the chosen system for an HD port, meaning like the most graphically advanced version of said game is on Nintendo Switch is a little bit interesting to me because I always thought of Nintendo Switch as not really the console for the definitive, graphically definitive versions of games. But I mean, it's got one now, so that's a thing. So yeah, that's about it. So I'm not really sure what else there is to talk about here. I'll think a little bit. Whenever you're doing live streams, a lot of people say don't do a live stream unless you have a large subscriber base and you're sure people will be on your live stream, or else you're just sitting there twiddling your thumbs and not doing anything for a long time. And it just looks stupid and unprofessional. But I don't really quite agree with that. I mean, if you're not sure whether people can show up or not, basically just kind of plan out things that you're going to say, like I've done here, and just chat to the camera. That way, you're not just sitting there awkwardly looking stupid and unprofessional. But if no one shows up, um, but you're still ready. So if people show up, I'm cool to talk with you guys and have fun and chill on the nice stream a majigger. But I've got other things planned to say, so I'm not just staring at the camera. If not, then I can keep chatting for a while just to the camera if no one's here. That's kind of my style. That's what I've learned. Um, Hopefully, at some point, if we continue the whole channel growing thing like I want to, we'll probably get to a point at some point where I don't even need to sit here and just chat to the camera for 30 minutes because there'll always be people here. But we're nowhere near that point yet. It's still always questionable whether anybody is going to be watching a live stream or not. So, it's fine. Whatever. Good stuff. Um, but yeah, I think I don't really want to end the live stream here because it's kind of an awkward spot. It's only 33 minutes. That'll make this the official shortest variety podcast so far. Um, but yeah, definitely some interesting stuff currently going on in the world. You know, um, it's interesting, at least in my world. So yeah. Although for this podcast, I said last time I'm gonna try and make the thumbnail cringier every single time. But this time I didn't know how to make it any cringier. So instead of doing two thumbs up, I just did a thumbs up. I don't know. Probably looks really stupid. We'll see what that ends up looking like. Um, So yeah, you guys stay excited for October 30th when Apple will make some kind of announcement. Hopefully, awesome new iPads. Excited about that, and I guess I'll see you guys later. No one new here right now, so just again, anybody who's watching this later as a video, because I'm not sure. I guess some of you might go through and watch this again when it's a video and not a stream. Just hopefully try to comment and chat. And I understand if you don't feel comfortable commenting or chatting with strangers online. That's fine. I'm not encouraging you to do things you're not comfortable with. But if you are comfortable chatting, please chat, build a community on the channel, and just at least try to watch videos when you can. just be a good subscriber. Try to watch videos when you can, just to get my viewership watch hours up, because that actually helps. That's one thing we do know about the YouTube algorithm. Consistent views and watch time directly contribute to your videos showing up more in recommended columns and things like that. So at least hopefully try to contribute at least a few minutes a week, watch minutes onto the channel, and a few views a week onto the channel on some videos. So that'll help me stay consistently in people's recommended. Um, yeah, it's kind of awkward. I don't really want to end the live stream right now, but I don't really have anything else planned to talk about, and no one's here watching. So I'm kind of just talking to a camera by myself. So yeah, you guys, if any of you guys missed this live stream and are watching it now, be sure to have your notifications enabled so you don't miss next week's variety podcast. They're always on Sunday nights. They start somewhere between 9 and 9:30. So just be here somewhere between 9 o'clock and 9:30 on those good old Sunday nights to watch a variety podcast. But again, have your notifications enabled just in case I change my mind on when I would like to have it. Um, and hopefully, we get some more interesting things to talk about next week, because I didn't have much of anything to talk about this week. I was kind of relying on people showing up to chat, which they didn't. It's all right, guys. I'll see you later. Bye bye. I gotta hit a few buttons here.